Today I'm talking about 5 common mistakes I see and what you should do instead. I'm going to start at the kitchen. We'll talk about court coverage and moving together as a doubles team, and then we'll get into attacking, both from the kitchen and from the baseline. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Justin, and we put out weekly videos to help you improve your game. Now let's jump right into it. A common mistake I see from a lot of players is an understanding of who's supposed to cover the middle of the court. Now I'll give you a quick second. If my partner's a righty and has that forehand in the middle, and I'm over here, who do you think is supposed to cover, my partner or me? Give you a second. If you said my partner or me, you're sort of right, you're sort of wrong. It's a trick question because it depends. It really depends on where the ball's at in the court. So I'll give you an example here. If my partner's over here, I'm dinking cross court with my opponent. Every time I hit that ball cross court, I should be shifting towards the middle because I'm protecting against that speed up down the middle. Now the reason why, there's a couple. She can easily speed that ball up and take it down the line. My partner's job is to protect that down the line shot. So we're both shifting over so that my partner can be over there and I can cover the middle, because it's going to be really hard for her to hit a speed up and have it go in cross court. The only way she's really hitting a shot cross court is by hitting a dink cross court. She can hit that ball and push me out wide over here. She can hit a good shot like that, but as soon as she speeds it up, I want to let that ball go out. So what we're doing when we're covering the middle, again, it's not who's got the forehand or who's got the backhand, but we're shifting together as a team. If I'm going this way with the ball, we're both shifting this way, and then it's my job, whether it's a speed up or a dink, to cover that middle. Same thing if we're dinking over here and we're going like this here. What we're going to do is we're going to be shifting over, and now my partner with the forehand is going to be taking that middle area. This next common mistake is similar and sort of a play off of the last one, and it's going further in depth and how we can efficiently move better as a doubles team. So what we want to do is, if we're focused on your partner's the one hitting the ball, you're over here, we want to make sure you're not having your feet glued to the ground, because that's a common mistake where we just get stuck and we start watching our opponent. They're moving, or our partner, they're moving, but we're not. So you've maybe heard of this as the windshield wipers or shading. Anytime your partner starts to shift, they take 2 steps to the right, you want to make sure you're taking 2 steps to the right. Or if they're going over to the left, you're going over to the left. What this does is it allows you to cover more spaces and really fill in the gaps so that you as a doubles team can cover the court and win more points. Real quick before this next mistake, if you're learning anything from this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe for more videos. A common mistake I see is that people will speed the ball up at the wrong time or on the wrong ball. Specifically, the one I see very often is people speeding up when they're in these dink rallies and the ball's just coming, and they take one of these and they speed it up and it gets pounded back at them. A couple reasons it's getting pounded back at you is because, number one, when the ball is bouncing and I take a big backswing, my opponent can see that and they're ready for it. They're sitting on top of it. Number two, when I let that ball bounce and it's back a little bit farther, I'm hitting it from right here, they have more time to react because the distance of the ball from here to my opponent is greater than if it was out here. So I'm not saying you can't ever attack on the bounce, but most of the time we want to attack when the ball's out here. We're taking it out of the air and we're speeding it up from a higher point. So if it's up here versus it's here, it's easier for us to hit that ball over the net. So we'll show you right here, we're in a dink battle, and I'll be looking for a ball that's a little bit higher that I can attack. So still not a high one. There it is, boom. So that ball was a little bit too high. But you get the idea. We're looking for that ball to be a little bit higher above the net it's out in front. Now when I attack that, she has very little time to react. And when she does get it back, because your opponents will get those back, but it's not going to be coming back nearly as fast, your attack is going to put you on offense and hopefully set you up to win that point. This next mistake is when our opponents are being a little more aggressive with the dinks and they're pushing us back. So we get to where we're dinking and we're pushed back, and the mistake is that we get too wristy with our shot. We get back here, we panic a little bit, and we lose a lot of control. This causes us to hit it too hard, causes us to miss it in the net, because we're back here and we're chopping at it, because that's how we feel like we're gonna get the ball back over the net. Now, what I want you to focus on, and this is a really easy solution, is all you're gonna do is just plow through or push through with your paddle. You're really guiding the ball back, because what's happening is they put a little bit more pace on it. You're trying to get back from defense back to a neutral position. So when you do this, you're just guiding the ball back over and having a dink land nice and soft. So again, my opponent's pushing me back here, and I'm just guiding it back. Now notice how I'm actually locking my wrist, and I'm just plowing through. I'm not doing any of this or getting behind it and chopping through. But again, what I'm doing is just blocking. Oh, actually missed that one. I'm just plowing through here, and notice there's not a ton of movement going on, but we're taking one step. We've got our other foot planted here, so we can come back to that reference point, and hopefully we're in a neutral spot to then get on offense and then win the point from there. All right, so we're moving back here in the court, and we're working on attacking or being aggressive with our drives. Now, the biggest mistake I see, and people miss way more drives than they should because of one thing. They're trying to hit the ball way too hard. This causes them to muscle the shot, they get tight, and they're trying to power through their opponents with their drive. Now, don't hit your drive 100% power. We want to be at about 80%, almost 100% of the time. 80% or maybe even less. So that 80% drive is still allowing us to get good pace on it. We're maybe putting our opponents on defense, but we're having the control that we need. So one mindset shift when you're hitting your drives, don't visualize these two big opponents up there at the kitchen line, you know, that you're having to hit it through and they're just gonna be powering it back. Instead, when you're hitting your drives, pretend like no one's on the other side of the court. You're just hitting your drive like no one's there. You've got an open court to hit to, you've just gotta make it in. That's what we wanna have, is a little bit of a mindset shift so we can make more of our drives, stop giving up these free points, and ultimately win more matches.